Good evening, namaskar, and welcome to this live stream of the India Online Poker Championship, the IOPC, powered by SpartanPoker.com. We are thrilled to have you here once again for what promises to be an action-packed final table here this evening. And remember, this is the 11th edition of the IOPC, and it's just getting bigger and better as we get into this final stretch of the series. Now, we're going to stream the final table of the biggest buy-in tournament of the series in just a little while from now. But before we head to that, here's a roundup of what happened so far at the virtual felts of this 11th edition of the IOPC. We're down to the last 3 days, and there are still 21 tournaments left. So if you haven't been playing this IOPC series, khelo bhai, khelo. Behan, bhai and behan for that matter. So it includes some of the big tournaments like the 45 lakh guaranteed PLO Highroller, the 40 lakh guaranteed value mine that has a buy-in of just 660 rupees. That's such a low entry point for a lot of these tournaments that are there. 500 and 600 rupee tournaments. You can definitely take a shot. And the last 4 flights of the 3.5 crore guaranteed crown tournament is still available to enter into. And last but not the least, make sure that you try your skills at the all-rounder tournament to the all-rounder SNG, which is to be played on the 31st of July, where the winner will get a customized trophy. And how can I forget that the top favorite, Mission Khazana, hashtag Mission Khazana, that's the theme for this IOPC, of the leaderboard is what I'm referring to, the IOPC leaderboard with 1 crore in guaranteed prize money. Let's take a quick look at that leaderboard of the IOPC and the current top 10 who are on that leaderboard. Plenty of players have participated in this IOPC. Plenty of them have run deep in many, many tournaments. But the ones who have been consistently doing so, as you can see, are led by Anuj Yadav at the top right there. T2 Tauji, that's what Anuj plays as. He's got 16,600 and something points, which puts him on top of the chip counts, top of the points count, should I say. And he's followed behind by Spectre, that's Bhanu Prakash Casey, who's got 14,844 points. Bhanu Prakash has won the last 2 IOPC leaderboards, and with 21 tournaments left to go, there's still every chance that, who knows, he might just make it a three-peat. So that's T2 Tauji and Spectre on the first 2 positions, followed by the Supreme One, Abhijit Kumar on 3rd, Tanmay Benara playing as Plus EV in 4th. You've got Anirban Das, who was recently featured as Gutshot Magazine's player in the spotlight, player of the month, in fact, and he's justified that with another deep run in this IOPC leaderboard as well. Anirban Das playing as Poker Noob with 11,800 odd points. He's followed by Aman Parekh playing as Karma Poker. Then you've got Suraj N playing as Mr. Beast on number 7. And the very well-known Abhishek Goendi, who's playing as Mamba Mentality, little under 11,000 points. And the last 2 names on that list, Neeraj Kumar playing as Jannat 52 and Vikram Kumar Mishra as Mental Science, rounding off the top 10 with 10,149 points. So a lot of very, very familiar names there. And without doubt, that's some of the top talent in this country featured on the IOPC leaderboard. And let's take a look at that fantastic final table, the tournament that we're here to live stream and bring to you, which is about to commence very, very shortly. IOPC number 117. That's the Super Highroller event, a 6-max tournament that we're going to be covering here this evening. A guaranteed prize pool of 1.4 crores with a buy-in of a little over 1 lakh rupees. And this had a total of 132 entries. And so this high-stakes tournament with 132 entries, now down to the final 6 players who are going to battle it out for, well, the winner of the Super High Roller is going to get a serious payout, 35.22 lakhs. That's the up top position prize money that the winner of this tournament will get, followed by second place, who will get 23.8 lakhs. Third place, 1.54 million, or 15 lakhs, 47,000, I beg your pardon. And 12 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and a min payday of 8.14 lakhs guaranteed to every single one of these 6 finalists here at the Super High Roller. Now, I'm going to be joined by a couple of well-known faces from the Indian circuit with me in commentary this evening. The first one, who you have seen before, known as the Sunday tournament veteran. Please welcome Gunjan Mal to the live stream. Gunjan, you've shipped a bunch of these tournaments. It should be an exciting final table here this evening.
Hello, Peter. Good evening. I am super excited. This is the tournament which I look forward to the most. The biggest buy-in, super high roller. I don't think the gameplay can be any better than the gameplay that we're about to witness on a super high roller, because all of these players who are on this table have beaten the best of the best players to reach this spot, and I am very excited to watch क्या होगा, कौन जीतेगा, कैसे खेलेंगे, क्या हैंड्स होंगे. बहुत एक्साइटमेंट है मुझे.
Bilkul. And echoing that same sentiment is our second co-commentator for this evening. He's an entrepreneur, vlogger, runs Poker Life India, and of course, I believe he's got a new podcast in the works as well. So we'll talk to him also about that a little bit later. Please welcome Raj Juneja onto this live stream. Raj, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. That was a really good intro, Peter. It's amazing. Thanks. Happy to be here. And very excited to see the Highroller event.
Fantastic. Let's take a look quickly at all of these players at this final table. And we've been told that there is limited information on the current chip leader. That's Prads with 3 Z's. I don't know what the deal is, but Prads with 3 Z's is the player who's right on top of the chip counts. He's got 1.7, I believe he, or maybe she, you never know, has 1.7 million in chips. That roughly translates to about 53 big blinds. Then you've got the player that I'm definitely backing at this final table, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, playing as Athena Volt. That's a familiar name we've seen in a past live stream. The Legends live stream that we've seen is also someone who we've been backing then as well. And we love the fact that he's 64 years old, giving all the young bucks a run for their money. And of course, Rajiv Kumar finished in 6th place. I beg your pardon, he finished in 4th place at the IOPC Legends tournament in the last stream that we did on the 23rd. He scored a little over 11 lakhs for that finish. And Rajiv Kumar, playing as Athena Volt, has got just about 42 big blinds. 1.33 million in chips is what Rajiv has. And I'm certainly hoping that he's going to be one of the players who runs even deeper than he already has in this tournament. Now, we've got another very, very popular name who's in the 3rd chip position, and that would be Guneet Kwatra, playing as GK. Let's take a quick look at his stat card as well. GK, who has, plenty of finishes to his credit at this IOPC, as well as several other marquee tournaments. He won the Millionaire on Spartan Poker for 24.5 lakhs back in February 2018. He was also a finalist at the IOPC Blaze of Glory at Spartan, and he finished 4th in that event for 3.6 lakhs. So Guneet Kwatra with 1.3 million in chips, that's 41 big blinds at this final table. Following him is Harshat Sangi, playing as Poker in Olympics. What a nice name there, because clearly it is Olympic fever, it is Olympic season. And so Harshit has paid tribute by having his ID called Poker in Olympics. This 25-year-old has won the IOPC Crown main event on Spartan Poker the last time around. And so he is definitely someone we can watch out for at this table. A little over 1.1 million in chips for Harshit. The last 2 players on the name, again familiar names. Rajat Sharma, I beg your pardon, is playing as No Prisoners. He has, of course, won a whole slew of titles, from the Mega Suits to Destiny to the Elite to the Triple S Super Stack, the LBS main event. So many feature tournaments across platforms. Just a fantastic performer is Rajat Sharma. He was also the team member of the winning team Deccan Aces in the latest edition of the PSL. 6.67, that's 667,000 in chips for Rajat Sharma, who's that's about 21 big blinds. And last but not the least is our defending champion of this very tournament, the Super Highrollers. Last winner was this gentleman, who is Sriharsha D, playing as Sigrayem. I hope I'm getting that name right. Sigrayem, yep. Sigrayem is what Sriharsha is playing as. He's won the Millionaire Legends at Spartan Poker for 39 lakhs. The IOPC Highroller and Super Highroller in the last series for a combined 55 lakh payout. And like I mentioned, he's the defending champion of the IOPC Super Rollers from the 10th edition as well of the IOPC. He's the short stack here though, but do not count this particular gentleman out because he has some serious poker chops. 4.5 odd lakhs in chips is what he's got behind him. Gentlemen, I think we are in for some seriously power-packed poker. There are some rock-solid players at this table. Gunjan, who do you think is going to be... I mean, I know the chip leader generally is got a little thing going in his favor, but we've got some firepower as far as some of the other players are concerned.
Absolutely, Rajat. Absolutely, Peter. I
Freudian
think
slip.
there are two, three guys. So my number one pick is Guneet Kwatra because of my personal this thing. Like me and him had a little swap before the game. I did not make it. He made it. So I really mean he makes the money so that मेरा कुछ पैसा कुछ खर्चा वापस निकले. मैंने कुछ ज्यादा ही खर्च कर दिया सुपर हाई रोलर को. ये कमेंट्री नहीं करने में मैंने बहुत मेहनत करी है. कि मैं
थोड़ा सा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट होगा बॉस.
But I am rooting 100% for GK to win this. Nobody else. Everybody bow down. I need some money back. या गरीब को कुछ पैसे दे दो वापस.
Very good. So clearly vested interest from one of our commentary team members. But coming to Raj, obviously, you know, there's no lack of talent at this final table. Yeah. But given that, you know, Harshit Sanghi, who's won the Crown main event last time, you've got the defending champion of this very same tournament once again at the final table. And, you know, Athena Volt, my sentimental pick, really, I mean, there is something across the spectrum of players that we can see at this FT.
I agree. It is the creme de la creme. As you said, the super high roller, you only get the best who survive here. And if you ask my pick, it's going to be latter of the two, Rajat Sharma or Sriharsha Panini. I mean, Sriharsha is synonymous with high rollers, if you come to think of it. Yes, he's not chip leading right now. But so Rajat Sharma and Sriharsha are my two picks. Although the stack depth right now are not too far apart. So actually, it is anyone's game. And that should make it even more exciting.
Wonderful. So we should be in for a fair amount of fireworks. We hope this is not one of those quick fire final tables, but hey, it's poker. You never know. And we'll make sure that we bring all that action to you very, very shortly. But before any of that commences, let's bring you, our viewers, a contest question to kick things off. So here's the first contest question at this IOPC Super High Roller live stream. When was the first real money online poker game ever played? When was the first real money online poker game ever played? You know what to do, right? Just make sure you get your answer. Answer, singular. ठीक है? 5-6 सालों का list मत डालना. So make sure you get your answer in there and give your answer as a comment across any of the live stream platforms that you're watching in, along with your Spartan Poker ID. And if you're one of the lucky winners that we pick, we'll pick 5 lucky winners who each will win a ticket into event number 127, I beg your pardon, at the IOPC, which is a 5.75 lakh guaranteed tournament, which will be played tomorrow at 3 p.m. And so you've got 5 tickets to be given away. Make sure you get your answers into that contest question. When was the first online real money poker game ever played? And if you are right, you get to play in this IOPC for free. So make sure you get your answers in there across our live streams. And given that we're here and we're ready for the cards to go up in the air, lovely to see so many comments from all of our viewers. Welcome to everyone. And we've got some usual suspects in there, including KP. Hey, KP. And here we go. Let's see. The cards are in the air. And here we go with the first hand of this IOPC Super High Roller event. Let's rock and roll.
Everybody, can you please send some luck towards GK's win? I am very biased commentator. So, channel your positive energy. GK को जिताओ. मुझे थोड़े से पैसे वापस चाहिए.
Right.
But
We are not
he
making
keeps
any bones
coming.
about this.
I know. मैं ना ऐसे डर के कुछ नहीं कर रहा.
I like your open honesty, Gunjan. It's pretty good.
It's very unusual for
ये
our
सुपर
sport,
हाई
but hey.
सुपर हाई रोलर मुझे काफी महंगा पड़ा है. Nobody please question my number of bullets in this game, but please don't check it up. कुछ मत करो. मुझे बड़ा महंगा पड़ा है, तो मुझे काफी दर्द हो रहा है आज यहाँ कमेंटेट करके. ये
And
सही
this is a
बात है.
public platform, so we will not ask you how many bullets you fired. We'll be
Please do
kind.
not ask. Thank you so much. So I think we have a very good start. Ace-8 suited and Athena Volt flats with an Ace-10 offsuit over there. And this classic Athena Volt style, I would say, after seeing him on one final table. So this hand could be interesting. Athena Volt has the right amount of aggression. And देखो इस टेबल पे ना No Prisoners, which is Rajat Sharma, is a super accomplished player. He has an IOPC tag. Poker Olympics, obviously super rich by winning last year ka the Spartan crowd. Obviously, Sriharsha is a massive champion. Uske paas to piles and piles of money hai. So if not GK, I really want Athena to win because he's at his age, he's showing tremendous consistency and crazy play. Like I cannot believe Athena Volt is on the super high roller final table and it is amazing. So if not for GK, guys, Athena Volt. I am rooting for the underdogs in this table. And Prads, whoever are you, I don't know you. Sorry.
And Gunjan, you know what? I actually understand that sentiment of rooting for Athena because, to be very honest, I don't want to get into an ageism or ageist comment, but for the older players to adapt to online poker is not easy. I was primarily a live player, and for someone to go online and to excel is amazing. So yeah, kudos.
Yeah, when I first saw the list of players who made this final table, obviously it warms your heart to see someone like that who's, well, what Rajiv Kumar has done just by coming to this final table is making sure that, it was no flash in the pan the first time around. You could have attributed it to certain slice of luck here and there, but good play, consistent play. And well, here we see him playing once again on another FT, a massive FT at that. So yes, good luck to him and the rest of the players. I'm sure they'll be gunning to get one of those IOPC badges next to their names as well.
अभी इतनी बायस कमेंट्री करने के बाद शायद मुझे कुछ मतलब इन लोगों के मैसेज आए मैंने क्या किया था मैं तो तेरा दोस्त हूँ.
That is true.
And
so very muted pod.
Value / bluff. I don't know what that river bet was, but काफी interesting था जबकि Guneet को ace-8 fold करवाया. I think it was a value bet. I am not sure.
Very thin one at that. It's like तेरे पास भी कुछ नहीं है मेरे पास भी कुछ नहीं है but जो मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है वो तेरे से ज़्यादा बढ़िया है. It was that kind of a situation.
I think it was meant to fold ace queen ace jack type stuff.
Yeah.
But that may be the objective of the bet.
Yeah.
Interesting play था काफी.
Gunjan, I don't know if you've been sorry, Gunjan, I don't know if you've been following the comments, but someone is suggesting that the contest question should be how many bullets you fired in this.
Guys, please spare me the horror. एक बार जो हो गया जो गलती हो गई वो दोबारा नहीं करनी चाहिए. मैंने I think पिछले कभी कमेंट्री में कहा भी था कि one of the best features of Spartan is the auto rebuy feature. So आपको ज़्यादा दर्द नहीं होता. But super high roller में after the first bullet I turned that off. उसके बाद ना वो conscious firing हुई है. So it's more than one and it's very painful. So
it's not going to be a contest question, but y'all can send sympathy comments and emojis the way of Gunjan Mal, so he gets nice and pepped up for the remaining part of this IOPC series that's there.
Just to get you guys back in the hand, we have a very interesting check raise coming in. And this is why Sriharsha is Sriharsha. He puts people in a spot. I've seen his streams even... Oh, okay. He continues. And he picks up equity. Wow.
I think this is going in from Sriharsha.
I mean, the SPR is almost over 1:1. So yeah, it might as well be.
Actually, it's a really good play, but now that the 10 is there on the board, it's really maxed. मतलब Rajat's check call range, मतलब bet call range. So Rajat should have a bunch of Queen X in his
There
range.
you go. As
But,
anticipated.
yeah.
Oh, this will
It's a
take
really
something
tough
from
spot for
Rajat.
Rajat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think having a seven of spades and king of spades is pretty decent to call it off.
Well, there you go, folks. That's
Excellent,
the
excellent.
former, well, not the former. He is the current defending
Current
champion of this Super High Roller, showing exactly why he's at this final table and showing exactly what he did to get there. What a fantastic play in that hand.
I agree. And you know what I love about these plays from the pros, especially? The check raise came in and so did the follow up. So, where most people actually lack confidence is the follow up.
Right. Yeah, it's easy to sort of put that initial bet out there to sort of, but if you don't end up building the entire story, then it sort of all falls flat on its face. So very well played there by, again, man, what's wrong with, why don't you all have easy names like Ramesh, Raju, Suresh, ऐसा कुछ नाम डालो ना. What is this Sigreem मतलब क्या होता है? Maybe there's some meaning to it. I have no clue, but maybe Joe, Bob, something like that. 3 letters, good.
Peter, chat में यार मतलब guys please guess and tell us कि इसका मतलब क्या है.
Yes. Sigreem. I'm not sure what that is.
Either we call him cigarette or we just call him Sriharsha.
I don't know the meaning, but I think I know the purpose. It's to confuse the hell out of his opponents and get the title by the time they figure out his name.
And he's doing a good job with us commentators as well. So good on you, Sriharsha.
Yeah.
Like coming to Sriharsha's game, भाई साहब उसके साथ खेलना मतलब बहुत dangerous है यार. Obviously, I have played quite a lot with him on the final tables, and I can guarantee the toughest player on this final table by far is Sriharsha. So I would, if I am there on this final table, I am avoiding playing pots with Sriharsha. That is for sure. So yeah, और यहाँ पे Prads ने king लगा लिया है river पे. I can see a big value bet coming. Yes. GK obviously has missed it. So it's easy hand, not a very difficult hand overall. But yes, I think we'll see some really good play, Peter. यहाँ पे ना काफी interesting hands होने वाले हैं.
Yep.
And आपको एक starter taste तो मिलेगा Queen 8 वाला check raise से. So
and condolences are coming your way. Condolences are also coming your way, Gunjan. Some of these comments are like all that's missing is the hugs emoji. KP very kindly says that Sigrem means let's play. I'm sure whatever username Sriharsha chose, all of them mean let's play, KP. So I'm guessing so grey them. Well, that makes no sense to me, Ujjwal, but hey, I'm open to other explanations also. Avnish Munjal says that it's one of the Queen's Gambit track. Thanks, buddy. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Got you.
Very intelligent.
Avnish
Very
Munjal,
nice.
thank you very much. You've cleared
Awesome.
up the air.
He
We
found
still
it.
don't know what that is exactly pronounced at, but it's nice to know what it means. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
I think that is something different. That is with SW something. Okay.
Sigrem in English means let's play. All right. It's a Russian phrase apparently.
वैसे by the way, just coming back to this, we have a massive hand setting up over here. यहाँ पे GK काफी tank कर रहा है, surprisingly with Jack 9 off, but Sriharsha has opened 9-10 suited. Athena Volt is definitely going to flat at least, but we have the chip leader with the queens. So I am very shocked. What is GK trying to think or do here? Why are you tanking? Please do not jam. Don't burn my money, GK.
Maybe it's just the internet.
Yeah, it could be that. It's okay. Palpitations are happening in Bangalore, one corner of Bangalore right now. But I'm guessing it's probably an internet issue more than anything else.
Yeah.
GK is too good a player to mess about.
जैम मत कर देना भाई, कुछ भी कर.
मुझे लग रहा है कि गुंजन खेल रहा है, पता है, और यहाँ कमेंटेट कर रहा है.
So, okay, GK has timed out. That is great. Athena Volt will flat. The question is, will Athena Volt call the 3-bet of pocket queens and spike a 7? Come on. I think
Interesting.
this is very likely.
I think
Come
it's
on,
like
guys.
a gift
7.
for Prads. What a gift for Prads.
Prads कितना बनाएगा यहाँ पे? Oh, 3 bet कर दिया Athena Bolt ने. Oh,
Ah,
those
like you said,
shenanigans.
Gunjan, if you
I
remember
thought flat करेगा.
last team that I was here, whatever you said, the opposite was happening, and now whatever you're
Opposite
saying
was-
is happening. So wow, okay.
Let's see. 4 bet तो आ गया. This is a
Yep.
clear. That
Firing right back Prads with his pocket queens, bits at
7.
5.22.
I am not sure Athena will fold, but I may be wrong. काफी बड़ी 4 bet हो गई है.
I mean, these are two of the biggest stacks who began this. It was chip leader 1 and 2 in this hand. Could it all go
Yeah.
in at this point? Wow.
That is very true.
I have-
Because if he calls, it's going to be 10 lakhs 44,000, and that's a sizable pot, bringing the SPR down.
7.
Oh, not a good flop for Athena Volt. He's going to think his sevens are really good at this spot. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
As
We-
a very
we
famous
can see
dialogue
some
in Hindi
damage.
movies goes, Nahi. Athena Volt.
A very
nahi."
juicy bet coming out from Prads. He wants his opponent to call.
Wow.
I think it's a very standard bet on this. I think he can go
Mhm.
even smaller on this board because Athena के chips जो है ना अभी क्या हो रहा है जैसे मैं बताता हूँ ICM में ना बैट के पैसे मिलते हैं बस ये Athena ने इतना कुछ डाल दिया है तो अब हर चिप जो वो हारेगा ना Athena will be very very painful. Like अभी भी
Right.
he's almost equal to 3 more players.
Mhm.
Right? He's still like second or third in chips. Now once he calls this bet and then he loses this, it's going to be detrimental for him.
Right.
Boy.
And
I don't
also when
think
we have when we're in the four bet category, the ranges really narrow down. So there are a lot of
Very narrow.
overpairs that he's against, and he
Yeah.
tends to know that. Very few say ace king, ace queen, ace that those sort of hands would be, completely in that spot. So yeah, not too good for him with the
सही
underpair.
बोल रहे हैं।
Well, with that gut shot
एक-
straight,
एक और
more
बात यहाँ
options
है
for
कि-
Athena Volt.
Yes. एक और इंटरेस्टिंग बात यहाँ पर यह है कि Prads is the only one who will try to do a 4-bet bluff here because of his stack depth. And he can put so much pressure on Athena. So 4-bet bluffs भी यहाँ पर ज्यादा रहेंगे compared to a normal 4-bet situation. आप समझ रहे हो ना? Because
Mhm.
he knows Athena has to be very, very tight here. So
Right.
if Athena calls, he has like 5 outs, 6 and 7. Say 6 outs. 4 sixes and 2 sevens. 6 outs.
Boy,
6
it
outs
looks
twice.
like
That's
wow.
12%.
There you go. Oh,
Oh my, wow.
he called. Wow, we have a first casualty.
Nahi, Rajiv Kumar, nahi.
Rajiv, you-
गुंजन मैं
Oh,
इसलिए हंस
boy.
रहा हूँ क्योंकि तुमने वो क्या बोला था तुम्हें याद है we are
Yeah.
back to the reverse effect of Gunjan
We are
man don't
Oh, boy.
हार जा भाई जी के अभी के अभी हार जा तू मतलब बस
Well, we've
GG.
got the first elimination at this Super Highroller final table. A player who we thought would go the distance a little bit more, but it was one of those hands. Queens versus Rajiv Kumar's pocket sevens. And in the end, of course, losing that hand to Prads. But 8.14 lakhs, gentlemen, that's somewhat of a soothing balm, I suppose, for that sixth place finish. And no doubt, once again, proving that, age is definitely not a criteria. All that you need is skill. And he's definitely shown that the first final table that he made in the Legends was not a fluke.
yes good game Rajiv, very well played. Tough spot to be in.
Yep.
100%. I think like I don't really hate that call or that line overall from Rajiv, even though it was a very high variance line. The
Mhm.
only reason is if somebody has to bluff on that final table, it is going to be Pratt. So Pratt can really have an ace jack off, ace queen off, stuff like that. Even ace king is then liable to bluff quite significantly. मतलब ace king आपके पास है मान लो अब क्या करोगे? Like you really want those 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s to fold out, so you will have to bluff jam ace king. So it's not really that bad a call as it may appear to some people on the stream. Also, the dynamics, he would know Prads better than what most of us know. कि Prads कैसा खेल रहा है. So
Right. And the end of the hand
And-
basically gives Prad a very good chip lead, and this is going to change the equation of the game. We're going to see him raise more often and play more aggressively and go for those blinds.
Yeah, it's a pretty serious lead that he's got over the rest of the field. I mean, the next highest in chips is Poker in Olympics. That's Harshit Sanghi. No slouch on the poker table himself is Harshit. but that's a fair gap in chips between Prads and the rest of the table.
Prads has actually like more chips than the rest of the table combined.
Wow.
If my math is not that wrong. More chips, significantly more chips than the entire table. That's Prads. We can
So,
see
Gunjan,
some
what would your
pressure.
strategy be if you're in Pad shoes? Let's hear the golden words from Mr. Mal.
यार देख मेरा पहला स्ट्रेटेजी है कि श्रीहर्षा से दूर रहो तो तो वो स्ट्रेटेजी पहले तो श्रीहर्षा जब हैंड में होगा तो मैं नहीं खेलूंगा तो वो स्ट्रेटेजी अलग करते हैं उसको ठीक है उसके बाद स्ट्रेटेजी है कि यार ऑब्वियसली मेरे पास बहुत चिप्स है तो मैं बहुत गार्बेज हैंड्स नहीं खेलूंगा बट decently playable hands, which is offsuit Broadway, a bunch of suited 8x, suited 9x, pocket pairs. Those are all opening up, and then trying to figure out if I can make the best of it. But I'm not. I can put a lot of pressure, and you might have seen me bluff off stacks also on final table. But it won't be some mindless kind of play. I have a chip lead, which means I have a very good chance to finish in the top 2, top 3. And before we come to our stacks, Sriharsha has quietly made as a straight draw.
Yeah.
So
that could be the reason why Gunjan Mal fired a couple of extra bullets in this. देखो मैं तो कुछ खास नहीं खेलता हूँ गुंजन, so all I have to do is make all these snide comments. That's it.
I was waiting for the infamous Peter Baum, which comes on every comment.
Yeah. So this spot I think would have been a decent one for Sriharsha to actually bluff. But still, King Jack is a very good hand in his which he has, so he doesn't need to bluff, but could have been a bluff over there.
Yeah, choosing to.
But anyways, the idea of being a chip leader is to not blow away your like a chip lead. You play decent hands. It's not like you have random Jack 4 off लेके बैठ जाओगे. आपके पास चिप्स है, शांति से बैठो, बाकी लोग को मरने दो. सब जाएंगे मरने दो जैसे बस्ट होने दो and then heads up पे अपन चिप के संग मस्त खेलेंगे ना क्या प्रॉब्लम है.
Exactly. So I mean, you can be a little aggressive in your opens, but post flop you should play sound poker. Is that right?
Yeah, little aggressive. So I would say the range would shift by around 10 to 15% in every spot. Okay. If you think from a percentage point of view,
right.
अगर आप से कट ऑफ से 30% खेलते हो तो आप 35% तक खेलोगे.
Okay.
That's how the situation will change.
I see there's still a fair amount of debate going on in the comments about that hand where Athena Volt got out. Some saying it was a good call, some saying it was a bad call. But that's pretty much what poker is all about. There are different facets to understanding this game, different thought process that need to be really looked at carefully before you go ahead and commit those chips in. So I think both our commentators would agree that it wasn't a misstep necessarily, just one of those hand versus hand situations. And the flop certainly conveyed that impression, at least I'm guessing in Rajiv Kumar's mind, that all is well, but not quite. And so
I agree. Peter, all those who are saying it's a bad call, you're always wiser post hand. You know how it is. In retrospect, you're like, of course it's this. Correct. And we have the luxury of looking at the cards.
खुले पत्ते में तो सब लोग माहिर है, so it's all good.
But the way to think about it is, like we were discussing in the hand, just think of the kind of range he has. And what he could have convinced himself going for that fold is this 4-bet range has a lot more over pairs.
Yeah.
And although then Gunjan said that he has a lot of ace kings and he has the chip to push him around, so he could be bluffing. So you've got to choose the two of the decisions, whether to call or unfold. And he chose the latter, and the rest is history. But I think that is the thought process one should have, rather than thinking, oh, good call, bad call.
Right.
No, I think if there is a mistake in the hand, we have pocket kings on GK. Come on, Rajat bhai, please jam.
Stop the presses. Gunjan is going to start meditating and praying and lighting candles, coconut photo.
I can see a call. No, chalo, theek hai. The only person who could have paid him off, he just let go. There you go.
Boo! That's Gunjan Mal. Boo!
Boo! No dice.
So, coming back to our discussion, Puran Pishle Wale hand mein, I think the biggest mistake, from my opinion, that was made was the 3-bet in the first place. आपने जब एक बार
I
sevens
agree,
को
yeah.
3-bet कर दिया ना, तो
Mhm.
stack depth पे आपने sevens को 3-bet किया, you are like sort of exposed to a lot more drama like than what you should have been exposed to
Mhm.
in the first place. उसके बाद भी 4-bet पे जब आप chip lead versus chip lead हो, it is generally more recommended to build on the more passive side. So I would have like there were two situations which compounded this effect of going out. पहला 3-bet और दूसरा उसके बाद यहाँ पे कॉल, उसके बाद 4-bet को कॉल कर. पोस्ट फ्लॉप आई थिंक लाइक एक बार आप उस स्पॉट पे आ गए फिर ज्यादा कुछ करने का बचा नहीं उस पे.
True. Post flop जब आपका SPR reduce हो गया, your options are very limited. So it's the pre-flop that builds up the base for the gameplay ahead.
Yeah.
Well, plenty of answers coming in for the contest question that we put out there. Make sure that you stay on our live stream. We will announce the winners on the live stream if we can. And of course, in the comment section as well on any of the platforms that you're following all this action on, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, make sure you get your answers in there. Gaurav Chabria, yes, man, I know. But the balm works for everyone. So, hey, what do you do? Welcome to all our viewers who've just joined us. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for saying hello to all of the team. It's good to have some company in the commentary booth. Gaurav Chabria, bhai, nothing is right, nothing is wrong. There are decisions and consequences. Bro, this feels like a really long tattoo that any poker player should sort of get onto their bodies. So, good on you, mate, for sure.
So it was like from Guruji
Gaurav,
from Sacred Games. Samay ek. But true words, nonetheless.
This is a really good hand. Why is GK timing out? GK, get a good internet, dude. What the hell? अच्छा.
Gunjan, internet connection भेजो.
मतलब आप सोचो एक पेटी का टूर्नामेंट खेल रहे हो और आप डिस्कनेक्ट हो जा रहे हो. That is वो भी फाइनल टेबल पे. It is ridiculous.
But you know, like worse things have happened to people when
A
playing
lot of
online.
worse things have happened.
I mean, if we get through this hand, I'll tell you.
That's an interesting C-bet over there.
He was the initial raiser, so he can represent that.
Yeah.
So, Gunjan, I promise you a short story if this hand gets out quicker. During PSL, my SNG, right? I had 2 internet connections, a generator, an inverter, and मेरे ISP का खंबा जल गया. Like the guy sent me a picture of a burned tower during the SNG. Wow. So, you know, you can plan for everything, but sometimes it's life.
I think one of the craziest stories is that somebody had bet just non-all in. Like एक big blind रख के भाई ने bet किया था. हाँ. Disconnect हो गया final table पे.
Okay.
The other guy jammed and he had to fold for one big blind for a massive this thing. Wow. And he just disconnected and lost as for something like on a GG ka final table, some 10K buying ka final table. Cool. So it was like crazy things have happened in poker.
Yeah, online isn't foolproof.
I don't expect that from my my money's on the line.
Oh, Gunjan, I have a gift for you.
Batao yaar. I'm willing to take.
Do you remember this?
Hey, let's get that properly in the view. Just turn it a little bit so our viewers can see it. There we go. See, if Raj Juneja doesn't want to continue in poker, he'll do really well as a hand model. So I think it's going well for him in that one.
Hand twins, Joey. Okay.
All right.
Action continues. Still at 5 players on this Super Highroller final table. Chips are moving around a little bit, but Prad's holding very, very rock solid steady with his chip lead. बहुत टाइम से खेला नहीं, चलो डाल देते हैं एक bet.
I think Prad is going to face a jam over here. I think it's a really good spot for Sriharsha to push. It's 10 off, 15 big blinds, 16-ish big blinds. Yeah.
There you go.
And Prad has to fold. Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Again, the chip leader, holding the lead, not doing anything funny. It's nice to see some restrained play. We've seen on many an occasion, chip leaders going a little bonkers with the amount of chips that they have, and I think there was one player who had 120 big blinds starting that final table. And well,
this hand we may see the exit. Oh, no. Okay. If Sriharsha had raised there, it was likely that Rajat would have jammed over there with an ace-6 suited.
Gunjan, what's the
But,
worst ace you're calling over there from no prisoner's position? What's the worst ace that you're calling that jam?
Tough spot here. Versus Sriharsha, I think I'm going to call off ace 10-ish.
Okay.
Given that I have, ace 10 off, ace 8 suited types. King, queen suited maybe.
Okay.
Interesting, it's going up. Yeah.
Well, now that there's some garbage at the table, let me quickly list out the winners of that first giveaway contest that we did for question number 1, which was, where's that question? When was the first online real money game played? Yes, many of you got that answer right. It was, of course, the 1st of January in the year 1998. So quite a few years ago, 22 years ago, in fact. And congratulations to all of the winners of that first contest question. That's Dreamer77, Gambler420, Samir1719, Psycho95, Vijay B1919. Congratulations to all 5 of you. You won a ticket into the 5.75 lakh guaranteed IOPC number 127, which is going to take place tomorrow at 3 p.m. So very well done. The ticket will be credited to your Spartan accounts. And we hope to see you at a final table here in the live stream. So good luck to all our winners. And we're going to try and get you one more contest question a little bit from now. But in the meantime, it's down to Sigragem. I'm still not sure how to pronounce that. Sigragem. And that's Sriharsha Dodapaneni versus Prads, the mysterious Prads. Kyuki, yes, there you go. He's got that going. Good.
So wow,
so
he's actually taking initiative in this.
It's kind of a loose open, which is not typically seen by Prads so far. But this board is really good for Prads. But एक बार यहाँ पे Sriharsha check call कर देता है, it becomes very tricky to sort of play this. वही होता है ना, आप जब गार्बेज खेलो मगर जब अल्ट्रा गार्बेज खेलते हो जैसे 8-5 ऑफ, तब आप पोस्ट फ्लॉप अगर कॉल मिल गई तो आप बड़ा पॉट हारोगे. समझ रहे हो ना आप क्या हो रहा है. So it's very hard for him to do anything now. Basically, either he just closes his eyes और बोला bet jam करूंगा random. That could be a strategy. But yeah, I think Sriharsha may just go for a thin value bet here. Yep.
There you go.
There it is.
Yep, 20% pot.
Do you think that is motivated by the king of diamonds in his hand?
No, yeah, king basically he's going for value against a 9 and a 10, and with the queen he has a straight blocker also. So I think it's a very good value bet over there, and it is unlikely that the button has an ace over there because ace would generally be barreling second time.
Okay, to all our viewers who are confused about why their answers didn't get picked, guys, it's a lucky draw. It doesn't matter if you were the first to answer. We just randomly pull out winners from all of the answers that we've gotten. So don't be disappointed. There are still many more contest questions left in the course of this live stream broadcast that we will do. So keep getting your answers in. You could win a ticket.
I think ये Lucky Sharma का ही comment है. सबसे पहला आंसर मेरा था, but मुझे नहीं मिला. So lucky you got unlucky. Try again, you may get lucky.
You did try to say just one thing. Earth. Remember this, Peter?
Yes.
That
was a very broad answer to a contest question.
Where was poker invented?
Oh, अच्छा, where was poker played? Mars वगैरह. और GK is all in. Come on. Come on, fold. Okay, कोई बात नहीं.
गुंजन की सांस में सांस आते हुए.
लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई.
Again, lucky and all our viewers, it doesn't matter if you answered first or last. It's a lucky draw. We put all the right answers into a draw and we just pull names at random. So keep firing out the answers to our various contest questions and you could perhaps win a ticket.
I think, Peter, you misunderstood. He said that it's a lucky draw
अच्छा,
I am
तो
lucky.
फिर हाँ, तो
मेरा ही तो होगा.
But sir, poker is about skill and not luck, so hey. And back to the action here with Rajat Sharma playing his
Rajat
no
is going to most
prisoners.
likely jam this and get the
There we go.
folds.
It's a nice hand to
There
put in
we
there,
go.
but no love for Rajat on that particular hand.
No love for no prisoners. So, okay.
That's a very interesting sort of profile picture he's got, Rajat Sharma. Is that some kind of a anime
It
character?
looks like female Loki or something.
Yeah. Oh well.
I know who's into anime.
चैट से पूछो ना, इतने लोग हैं, कोई ना कोई समझा ही देगा अपने को.
Yes, of course.
ये हमारे
Let's
startup
crowdsource our answers.
Crowdsource.
All right.
No
If you
prisoners
know
के
the
icon में
profile
क्या
picture,
है?
what the profile picture of no prisoners stands for, please let us know in the comments. It looks like a very interesting picture. We'd love to know what that is. Loki says Donna Ammo. Donna, is it? Are you sure?
Yeah, like Rajat bhai, if you are watching this stream,
Yeah, why don't you answer, buddy?
हाँ, खुद ही बता दो, देख रहे हो. I'm sure people watch this stream.
KP is being nasty. He's like, that's actually Rajat Sharma's girlfriend, virtual girlfriend. क्या यार KP? ऐसा नहीं है. The deuces get a bet going from Prads. And he puts in 81k into the middle, but...
And 5 for suited would most likely fold. Oh, it's an interesting call.
Wow.
यही होता है. Yahi hota hai. Then there's a sniff on the flop. Just a sniff.
Check. Interesting check back over there by Prads.
All right.
Kind of surprising because King 8-7 वाला board पे आपने जब lojack से open किया है. काफी अच्छा board है आपके लिए.
So our viewers very kindly helping us out here. Someone said the profile picture looks like Skrillex. Someone says it's a character from the Valorant game. That makes sense.
Okay.
All right. Yes, another Valorant. Am I saying it right? Valorant. Anyway, Reina from Valorant. Okay,
just coming back to this hand, Rajat has a very interesting decision now. It is likely that Pratt is checking twice with underpairs, like tens, queens, and jacks. And an interesting bet size here could be like an all-in or a 2.5 lakhs. That would have been really interesting over here. This tiny little sliver of 45k bet may just get called. Yeah,
it did get a little too thin.
Nice.
It did get called. Basically, यार देख, तुम अभी target कर रहे हो king को और या ace, weak ace को या pair को, and what you're trying to say वहाँ पे कि मेरे पास 7 है. Like मैं generally king और ace कम value bet कर रहा हूँ, या ace है या 7 है, right? अच्छे ace है, अच्छे 7 है. And given that, a very interesting size could have been an overbet. But I'm sure he was considering overbet करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए. He's a very good player, Rajat. So,
what do you think about this open with King 9 off?
So I don't like for a poker Olympics. Yes. What the problem is, अभी तक क्या हो रखा है ना? Prads एक तरफ है, और बाकी चारों sort of short stack है effectively. तो अभी ये चारों लोगों में कंपटीशन चल रहा है कि मुझे
stop the presses
वाली है क्योंकि जीके के पास रॉकेट्स आ गए.
Oh yes, come on, but कोई देगा नहीं पेमेंट यार जीके को. जीके यार क्या करता है यार? पहले को किंग्स आए थे, पेमेंट नहीं मिली, पैसे आ गए.
That is true. कभी इंटरनेट नहीं चलता, कभी रॉकेट्स आते हैं, कभी किंग्स आते हैं, एक्शन नहीं मिलता.
Come on यार जीके.
Prabhudas Sajeev, we like cats, but Prabhudas Sajeev, there is a cute cat. We agree, but some of us are slightly allergic. Behind the weird anime lady. Well, I'm guessing no love on this hand for Rajat Sharma.
No prisoners, yeah. So again, अभी आप देख रहे हो ना, काफी शब्द वाला गेम चल रहा है. आप मतलब Rajat is jamming, Sriharsha is jamming. That is because it is really bad to get called and play. Like अभी आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव यहाँ बन गया है कि मुझे बाहर नहीं होना. मतलब मैं फर्स्ट तो हो नहीं सकता. Like pretty much it is guaranteed. It is very unlikely that I'll become first. So let me try for second. So all of these guys are trying to get to second and then figure out कि वहां से अपन first कैसे हो. So like this hand, GK may just jam if Sriharsha does not jam. But if Sriharsha flats, I think GK will jam like pretty high frequency.
I think it makes sense for him to flat over here, right? In case he does get to see the flop and spike.
40, yeah, I think it's a good flat. 20-25 bigs. Decent flat tha wahan pe. GK, it's a tough spot, but I think yes, GK should just jam this hand. Like I said, you don't want the calls, you don't want to play. Yeah.
Good luck, Gunjan.
Oh, नहीं call नहीं आ रहा भैया रजत ऐसा.
Well, on that note, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll see you guys on the other side as the action continues at the Super High Roller final table.
Hey.
Bye,
बेगम आ गई है.
Wow.
क्या कहते हो?
Queens was the one which actually had given him the stack that he has right now on the final table.
Yes. Let us see what is in store. I think he will call this, Rajat. Unlikely he jams. A set off. Well, it won't be a bad jam actually, because it's a blocker. It's a good blocker to jam, and yeah, I just unfortunate to run into queens.
Right.
Good game, Rajat bhai. Good game.
GG.
Like, the simple reason यहाँ पे because Prads would be opening much wider than what he should. जैसे उसने 5-8 off open कर दिया था Prads ने.
Yeah.
ठीक है. So yes.
I mean, looking at the information we have, and they have as well, because it's a live stream. He was opening pretty wide.
No. It's not a live stream, by the way. I think it's a 1 hour delay. The game started at 5 p.m. So it's like they can't see.
My bad. But like you were saying, an open and a jam with that stack size was apparent. And good game. Sharabi Kababi.
Good game, Rajat. That was a better name than No Prisoners. I like Sharabi Kababi better.
I like that. Yeah. I was like, I can picture him with his 8 p.m. drink and ordering chicken and
Sharma ji बड़ा अच्छा खेले.
Flopping 2 pair on a monotone board.
Limp 9 lag gaya hai, and I think his poker in Olympics has a good season today. And yeah, bet. I think it's just gonna be a flat call.
Wow.
Oh,
interesting.
Oh,
he just get counterfeited, bro.
Oh man.
But do you think the action will slow down because of the monotone board initially on the flop?
I think Pat should still value bet this. The point is if Pat bets, it's a sick bluff jam over here, by the way.
Yeah.
Like you really block. He called. I don't like the call that much. Yeah. I don't like the call. Like bluff jam वहाँ पे बड़ा interesting था because आप deuces और fours दोनों block करते हो.
Okay.
और blind versus blind, so board pair up हुआ है, very likely you can have a deuce 5 or a deuce 9, any full house combination वहाँ पे, pocket deuces, pocket fours. So
okay.
Would have been a very interesting bluff jam वाला spot.
Yeah.
In fact, if this was the Sriharsha, there is a 70-80% chance कि वहाँ bluff jam आ रहा है. So if Sriharsha even has to roll like a randomizer, his random number will be like very, very high over there too.
Okay. I've seen the streams that I've seen Sriharsha play. He really has this knack to pick when to jam for his tournament life, right? And that is just amazing. We saw that in that out of position hand that he played with the draw, where he missed on the river, but he still went in, pot committed, but he knew the story he's going to tell. And very amazing. And the thing is, I think Gunjan, even with you, right? एक टाइम के बाद आपको मतलब short stack की range jam वाली याद ही हो जाती है, right? It's like it's like instinct to you that okay, I've got to go in this spot and call.
You are sort of right, but basically ना those FT is very different beast altogether because FT में क्या होता है ना, situation keeps changing all the time.
Very fluid.
कि आपको अपने चिप से ज्यादा मतलब है मेरा जो रिलेटिव स्टैक डेप्थ है वो कितना है, मेरे पास कितना है, चिप लीडर कौन है, बाकी शॉर्ट स्टैक कितने खेल रहे हैं, क्या हो रहा है. So there is no memorization which can help you in an FT. You have to just like go ahead, practice करो, सीखो, देखो, try करो, तब सीख पाओगे. There are tools like ICMizer वगैरह, उससे देख के सीखो, practice करो. But बहुत डायनामिक है यार. There is like ये configuration कभी दोबारा होगा क्या? I doubt it. कभी नहीं. And
Okay.
it is GG to Poker in Olympics. Harshit, good game. I think Harshit has won third position के लिए. I don't know. I think like some massive amount of money. A lot of money.
For the third position, for the fourth position, is it? Yes.
Yeah.
For the fourth position, it's 12 lakhs 81,000.
Yes.
Not bad. Not bad change.
यार वो बहुत अमीर है ऐसे भी है. पिछले बार क्राउन जीता था तो ठीक है. चलो ठीक है. Some more addition to your bankroll. अमीर इंसान. The good part is GK is still in, so I am taking some part of money back.
Does it like a bit like a part of you just elate when somebody busts because you know you're getting the pay jump?
Yes, I am getting the pay jump. मतलब personal vested interest है भाई मैं commentary में मैं ना ऐसा.
चलो I'll try and balance it out for the
commentator
others.
should be non-biased और ये वो तेल लेने गया वो सब. मैं biased commentator हूँ. तुम्हें सुनना है तो सुनो नहीं तो.
चलो कोई नहीं.
Well,
I'll
you have
balance
no
it.
choice. Mute कर लो आप.
I'll balance it out. कोई नहीं. There'll be a balancing act.
राज भैया करेंगे. Yeah. Come on, Prats. Bluff jam on this. Rajat, if GK opens, Prats can bluff jam.
He can.
Yeah, true. Actually,
he does. Good luck. And he gets it through. So, very nice, Sam.
Yep. अभी यहाँ देख काफी इंटरेस्टिंग डायनामिक्स हो गया. देख GK. Now here is something which is very very nice. ठीक है. From a blind perspective, GK is under 20 bigs. Even Sriharsha is less than 20 bigs. Right? She has around 20 big blinds, right?
Right.
So Prats can put insane amount of pressure on both of those stacks now. Because even though you're 20 bigs, it's very very difficult to call off any shot pre-flop.
Yeah.
So काफी जबरदस्त प्रेशर आईसीएम का भी डाल सकते हैं Prats.
And Gunjan, just to let you know, the third position, whoever busts out gets 15.5 almost 15 lakhs, and the second position is 23 lakhs. So the pay jump does come into play. And since we see that GK and Sriharsha are the lower two stacks who are closer to each other, Prats is way off in the future. I guess the strategy for both of them would be to try to get that one up on the other person. They would want somebody else to go head first against the chip leader and bust out.
Correct. 8 लाख का सवाल है भाई. 8 पेटी. समझ रहे हो तुम? मतलब मजाक नहीं है. 8 पेटी. अगर आपने शांति से बैठे हो, आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, सामने वाला बस्ट हो जाए, है ना?
I was just going to say,
8 पेटी मिलेंगे आपको. तो
8 पेटी के लिए आपको सोचना है कि कौन सा हैंड ना खेले.
Correct. You are absolutely on point, Mr. Juneja.
आज कॉकरोच पोकर कौन खेलेगा? हमें जनता जानना चाहती है. आज कॉकरोच पोकर कौन खेलेगा? जीके खेल पाएगा या नहीं?
I think.
कैसे करता है ये? How does this happen, bro? Backdooring the trips with deuces.
I don't think he's going to get paid, but it's very unlikely that Ace-8 pays off here. Unless Sriharsha pulls a rabbit out of his hat and magically bets some amount, which
actually Prats needed to have something, a piece of the flop or the turn, which he doesn't clearly, to get paid off.
I think turn is going to call. Turn ace high is pretty still good.
Yeah.
But river pay with having that 8, actually turn maybe having that 8 is kind of bad because the natural bluff है इसका वो 8-9 है, jack 8 है, jack 9 है, इस ढंग के hand है. तो ace-8 होना कॉल करने के लिए is kind of bad. So I don't think Prats should call this ace-8, specifically an ace-8. If he has to call any ace, that should come around ace-3, ace-4 type of hands, which is slightly better as a call because आप जो है श्रीहर्षा के ब्लफ्स को ब्लॉक नहीं कर रहे हो. सो अगेन ये बहुत हाई लेवल कॉन्सेप्ट हो गया है.
हाँ, मैं वही सोच रहा था.
अपन आज सुपर हाई रोलर गेम देख रहे हैं, समझ रहे हो ना? गेम में डिफरेंस है.
But it made me think, why did you say ace-3 and why didn't you say ace-king? Because blockers. Possibly
ace-king will not play like that, by the way. Oh, it's going to be all in, by the way, this hand. This hand is just going to go
amongst the two short stacks. The lower
Come
of the two
on,
stacks.
channel some love from GK for GK. Come on. Yeah, GK has to call this. Yes!
Dude, he got
Yes!
it.
GK, come on! Let's go! Let's go! This is the best
Oh,
thing that can happen to GK, by the way. Like
yeah,
winning chips from the second wala guy
that is true.
and a king on the board on the flop and a queen on the flop. Come on,
Wow.
Sriharsha, I'm sorry, dude. I love you, but I cannot root for you.
King Queen is probably can
King
call
Queen's
this
gonna
off.
call it out. Yeah.
Wait, my turn.
Oh, and
He
he's
gets
back.
it. He survives.
He
And the gap
survives.
closes between GK because otherwise it was three, almost 2:1, but now it's not anymore.
What is interesting here, Raj, you are not seeing a limp wala game because it's stacked up back, na? At the high roller final tables, you would often see players limping and playing. The reason for that, I think, is Prad's staying out of these two people's way. Like Prad's,
Yeah.
I don't know who Prad's is, but Prad sort of understands कि ये दोनों काफी अच्छे players हैं. तो मैं रैंडम अग्रेशन नहीं करता हूँ, इनको एक को निकलने देता हूँ. अपन 8 लाख अपन भी कमाते हैं शांति से बैठ के फिर खेलते हैं.
Exactly. I think that's
What
point of
happened?
trying to get going the extra mile to get blinds is over, right? He would want to secure that 8 lakhs and the jump and then play heads up with whoever's there. Because whoever busts out, he's going to have a good chip lead anyway, right? So that is going to be a big factor.
100%. Also, skill edge आपको सोचना पड़ता है काफी बार कि I don't think India में anybody has a skill edge over अगर होगा भी तो बहुत minor होगा over Sriharsha.
Right.
And even GK is a fantastic player. तो आप ज्यादा skill edge तो कर नहीं सकते उसके against. तो इन दोनों को भिड़ने दो. तो Pride आप चाहे जो भी हो, like you may be like the number one player in India which we don't know about. But these two people are not in the top 10 in terms of play. So बहुत delta नहीं है बहुत ज्यादा.
So, in fact, I had come across this strategy where they say, okay, what if you land up in a final table heads up with a pro with stack depth is like not too far away. And so the guy said, play jam or fold. It actually can increase your chances of winning. And then he explained it because the other person has an edge post flop. And if you take that away from him and you play a solid range, or if you can get lucky on that. So that was an interesting take.
So point is heads up में ना जो edge आप बात कर रहे हो ना वो सिर्फ post flop नहीं होता pre flop भी होता है. तो एक बार आपने 5-7 हैंड जैम कर दिए और मैं सामने खेल रहा हूँ मुझे समझ आ रहा है कि आप कैसे जैम कर रहे हो. If you cannot jam back to back 7 hands, right?
Yeah.
So that edge sort of comes, and this time I think GK should get a double up. But it's unlikely. I think Sriharsha is going to jam and take it down. GK will just fold.
Yes, I think in this spot, even I would let go of sevens.
Yeah. It's a pretty straightforward fold from GK and good jam by Sriharsha.
Yes, very good.
Sriharsha is chipping up. It's highly unlikely that Sriharsha busts or doesn't win. Like
if you noticed, after that flip with GK, he was down to like what 4 lakhs, and he's already back to 12 in no time.
So if I have to percentage में allocate करना पड़ेगा, it may feel कि Prads is the obvious winner यहाँ पे and he should win like more than half the time. I think I would allocate it almost equally between the three players. Basically, in fact, I would give Sriharsha like a 40% chance of winning still on this
right.
At this sort of depth.
Seriously, with this depth and this, wow, okay.
I also think that Sriharsha outskills both of them by far. That's my opinion.
Right.
Even though I have like GK is a very good friend, but basically Sriharsha is a better player. That's my opinion.
But that is the beauty of poker, right? It can be anyone's game on a given day. Because they say that poker without variance is just chess. So, I mean, I heard this interesting saying.
That's true. Here, well done, GK. Come on.
Calm yourself. Calm yourself, good
Come on, Prads bhai, bet karo. And then river पे king या 4 और मजा आएगा.
वाह, हाँ वो तो बहुत ही अनफेयर हो जाएगा. मतलब ये ऐसी रिवर्स आती है ना, बहुत ही दर्द होता है.
GK calls, that's an ace, that should kill this action.
Yeah, that kills the
I'll
action.
give GK's action.
This is an
Yeah.
overkill card. हाँ गुंजन, मतलब पकड़ के और मारो. Straight था, not good enough. Not straight.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, true. Oh, interesting play from GK could have been to raise the turn also over there. Some frequency he should not always flat. ऐसा मैं कह रहा था पहले कि इस टेबल पे आप लिम्प्स काफी कम देख रहे हो compared to a usual high roller final table. That's because Prads is not attacking enough.
Right.
If you are playing a very standard final table, you will find a lot more pre-flop attacks.
Right.
So, like, yeah. So, easily it's relatively safer for these two guys to open and play.
Interesting card, the turn, which brings in a flush draw for Prads and a gutty for Sriharsha.
Sriharsha may find it have to bet over here for this thing, but Prads could also jam that turn. So it was interesting and tricky. 4-5, I think, is
Okay.
या श्रीहर्षा ने कुछ रैंडमाइज करके किया है, बट आई थिंक बेट फोल्ड नहीं करना चाह रहा था श्रीहर्षा, इसीलिए श्रीहर्षा ने चेक किया है उसको वहां पे.
I think he can just check and he has minor showdown value, but he does have showdown value.
Oh, I think he has fantastic showdown value. Basically इस बोर्ड पे किंग हाई जैक हाई बहुत फोल्ड फ्लोट करेगा. He may go for thin value by the way here. I don't like knowing Sriharsha, you may see just a value bet this.
Oh.
You get called by a king, and a queen, something like that.
Okay. There you are.
Yeah, there you go. Thin value bet. And
but Gunja, tell me about the thin. I'm interested by this concept. Thin value bet. Yes, I get it on the river, but in this stage, does it make sense to go for that thin value bet against the chip leader? I just want to understand this.
It's not against. So this is a very interesting concept, right? Again, थोड़ा सा higher level concept है.
हाँ, please. That's right.
कि बेसिकली यार थिन वैल्यू बेट आप उसको करते हो जिसके पास ट्रैप्स थोड़े कम होते हैं.
Okay.
Which means the probability of getting check raised is lower. A, ट्रैप्स कम होने चाहिए. दूसरा, player should be generally more straightforward and he should have a hinge of it. So there are, देखो वैल्यू
मिल गया. Queen high पे.
Queen high पे वैल्यू. So
okay,
you know that player is not going to bluff. Oh yeah, come on, ace on the board. No, I think GK will just fold this
to the 3-bet.
No, I think it's a GG for GK. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Be a 3-bet.
Jam
yeah, it's going to be a
jam and call.
Flat.
Okay, flat आएगा. Okay.
Likely that he's going to flat. He's maybe thinking and rolling.
No.
No.
Out of position kings. Wow, interesting spot.
It may be a GG for GK here.
And sizing, देखो, interesting है. He didn't make it too big.
नहीं, sizing तो सही है. मतलब ये bluff के संग भी यही same sizing करेगा. Yeah. It's a GG.
Oh, jam call. Did he?
Yeah.
Dude, he just got the straight. What? Gunjan, you can celebrate.
Well done. Yes.
Give us a little dance, man.
friend.
We should be happy.
अब तू चाहे जो करना है कर.
Dude, I just realized Sriharsha busted. Oh.
Sriharsha busted. Okay, sorry. We did not. I didn't want to celebrate on the stream for Sriharsha busting, but hey, dude, Sriharsha, fantastic play, Sriharsha.
Great game. He put his money in right, man.
Exquisite poker. Like, I don't think Sriharsha did any misstep on the final table.
Right.
उसने 4 से वैल्यू निकाला, क्वीन हाई से ब्लफ किया और एक जगह वैल्यू निकाला. Where value was to be found, he got value. Where bluff was to be found, he found the bluff. Which is what I said, right? इस टेबल पे जो unfair skill edge था वो श्रीहर्षा का था. One-sided Sriharsha was the unfair skill edge. Very good game, brother. Sriharsha takes down 15.5 lakh rupees. But now
heads up, Gunjan party. आज तो बिरयानी मिलेगी.
अभी तक ना मेरा बाइन भी रिकवर नहीं हुआ है. कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं यार.
Wow, look at the stacks, Gunjan. Now they're even. It's anyone's game.
It is anyone's game. It is likely that they chop.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we might hear from them that But knowing GK, do you think he will go in for the deal?
I think it's pretty big money, so
Yeah.
it's not unfair to assume he will go for a deal over there.
I think there's a 12 lakh rupees difference between the first and
Yeah,
second position.
yeah.
And while the chips are
from,
even, it makes sense.
yeah, and from what I have seen, GK has, I think, a slight skill edge from the final table from the so far as game I've seen. In this game, in this overall game so far, heads up match,
Yeah.
GK should have a slight skill edge.
Yep. I mean, we don't have information on Brad, so that is the assumption you're making.
That's the assumption that we are making. Brad's maybe some sicko beast.
Yeah. I think that's part of the game to hide his identity so that people don't know how to adjust to him.
And we have a 3-bet fold by GK 7-6. That's a surprising fold heads up. I am not sure about that fold. And ace 5 off 3-bet is also very interesting. So आज heads up खेलने के शायद commentate करने का मौका मिले.
I like that. Because generally जब तक हम आते हैं तो गायब हो जाता है. So heads up is a whole different beast. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You got to play your cards, and it's the ultimate meta game.
Yep. जैसे मैंने पिछले स्ट्रीम में आई थिंक कहा था कि हर कुछ 10-20-30 हैंड में ना डायनामिक्स बदलती रहती है हेड्स अप में, स्पेशली टूर्नामेंट हेड्स अप में जहां स्टैक साइजेस कीप वेरिंग, सो यू विल सी अ वेरी डिफरेंट स्ट्रेटजी इन अ वेरी डायनामिकली एडजस्टिंग स्ट्रेटजी हियर. So, but dude, this is a super deep heads up game if you think about it. It's not a very shallow push fold game. It's going to play. Yeah. It's going to be a battle.
And I'm guessing if there was something about the deal, we would have heard about it. So I'm guessing the game is going to go into the title position, title play. That's nice. That's good to see.
Oh, that's good to see. यार पिछले बार मैंने जितने घोड़ों पे पैसे लगाए थे स्ट्रीम के ऊपर बैठ के ना, आई वाज गेसिंग. अगर तुमने देखा होगा या जो व्यूअर्स ने देखा होगा, ऑल ऑफ माय बेट्स वेंट लाइक एब्सोल्युटली उल्टा. कि ये जीतेगा वो बस्ट हो गया, फिर चलो मैंने चेंज किया तो वो बस्ट हो गया, फिर मैंने चेंज किया वो भी बस्ट हो गया. आज sorry,
so we have the top pair and the flush draw. Interesting. Yeah. थोड़े fireworks वाले hands भी आएंगे अभी.
I want that spade to come. 8 of spades. Come on, guys. 8 of spades. 7-9. I think GK is going to continue to fire this.
I was literally on the edge, hoping or thinking that the Nate might come. You know that freaky thing when you call it.
Let's hope. 8 of spades. If the 8 comes without a spade, GK may just bust because he is liable to bluff jam that.
I like the line he's taking with the draw in position.
Now he's just going to give up. Check. With that king coming up on the board and now him having 2 spades and the 9 of spades. Could be an interesting bluff jam over there. Not sure.
Nah, he just sees it.
Spades, I don't like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to kill that chul to jam.
Correct. अब बस drop पे jack ना आ जाए.
Oh boy. Because just for our audience, heads up, a top pair is very strong, right? You might get convinced to let your top pair go. Nuts.
Nuts. Like हेड्स अप पे अच्छे लोगों के अगेंस्ट टॉप पे ना फोल्ड होता है. पे नहीं फोल्ड करना.
Oh, by the way, if you notice, he's got a gut shot as well, GK.
He's going to call this. He's going to call. Yep. And interesting turn card. We may see a lead from him. Very interesting spot to lead, or even to check raise. But I don't think Praj is going to bet this. If Praj bets this, he may be in a world of trouble. He does not bet, does not bite.
Very controlled pots so far from Prads. The ace has slowed it down.
I think he has to bluff this hand and it will be tricky if the sizing is good. I think he should go for an overbet if he has to bluff this. I think 5 lakhs is a good amount. I don't like this check. I do not like this check.
He doesn't have that showdown value.
Yeah. Basically, यार देख GK के पास 10 है, जीके के पास एस है, तो यहाँ पे एस भी नट्स है और 10 भी नट्स है। तो बेसिकली अब आप एकदम पोलराइज्ड हो कि या तो मेरे पास नट्स है या कचरा है। तो आप नट्स बेट करोगे तो आपको कचरा भी बेट करना पड़ेगा।
Got it.
और ये कचरा is a very good कचरा because it blocks a lot of नहीं. This is the
Do you
good
think GK's
कचरा. I
approach
think
is to play more straightforward right now with Prads? Someone he doesn't know probably.
It is likely because I think versus the Sriharsha is bluffing. Versus the Prads, he may just think yaar, Prads is not going too out of line.
Yeah.
And his read on Prads will be better than mine and anybody else's read because he's obviously been playing him for so long. So, yeah.
We have a nice sizable 3-bet coming in. He's using making his ace in his hand, leveraging it the most, and we get a call. Wow! And he gets a piece of that flop with a draw.
I think it's a good call only. Heads up पे आपको suited hand, suited connectors इस ढंग के call करने पड़ते हैं. The challenge is SPR. अब क्या हो गया ना कि GK starts with a check. Brad should also just check it back. Likely,
yeah. The check back, he gets to realize his equity and without actually going overboard. What line would you like to say? GK can very well bet out over here because he was the initiator of the 3-bet in this spot. He can tell a story.
I agree, but then you have worse hands to sort of bluff bet over there. Like King Queen जो board है ना, वो generally Prads को hit करता है 3-bet caller को.
अच्छा.
Right? Now GK can go for a value bet by the way. That could be an interesting value bet. Kings, queens, and an ace because Prads now has to call with some Jack 10, Jack 9 kind of hands over there. So like Sriharsha took value with the 4, right? GK missed value with his ace. And I doubt that Prads is better. Like for example, Prads there, right? Prads has sort of a mandatory bluff with an 8 high. You can't take an 8 high to show down, right?
Right.
तो पंगा क्या हो रहा है ना? GK is now playing a very good strategy. GK ने जो Prads को देखा है खेलते हुए. Again, that's my analysis. Maybe wrong. कि Prads बहुत आउट ऑफ लाइन, बहुत ज्यादा अग्रेसिव पुश नहीं कर रहा है. तो आपको जब ओपोनेंट आपको बहुत धक्का नहीं मार रहा होता है ना, तो आप भी थोड़ा शांति से खेल सकते हो. Versus an opponent who is constantly punching you on your face, you really have to fight back. Otherwise, you will be dead in no time.
Yeah, you become a pushover and then it becomes pretty apparent.
Prads शांति से खेल रहा है. Prads बोल रहा है कि मेरे पास चिप्स है, मैं खेलेगा शांति से, मैं जीत के जाएगा. तो जीके भी ज्यादा मतलब both of them are like नहीं लड़ते हैं, चलो ठीक है छोड़ देते हैं, चलो कोई बात नहीं, अगले बार मतलब देखेंगे.
They actually really want to milk in that title, you know, जो मिले तो मतलब deserve करके heads up अपना अच्छा खासा खेल के, we are not too shallow both of us, let's grind it out. ये वो है.
By the way, this is the first limp. This could be a good strategy to observe how people change. पहला बार limp किया है Prads ने पूरे final table पे और especially heads up में.
So, and he has a gut shot over here.
You might find it very interesting line. GK has a decent hand to actually check raise. It's a big bet.
Gunjan, is this the longest heads up you've seen on stream, like the IOPC?
मौका ही नहीं मिलता भाई, लोग डील करते हैं.
Exactly. This is a rare entry. This is like a dinosaur spotting or the dodo. We're getting to see heads up play for the title. That too for the high roller.
कितने पेटी के लिए भाई पता है?
हाँ बताता हूँ.
12 पेटी के लिए हेड्स अप खेल रहे हैं, 12 लाख के लिए.
हाँ, up top 35 difference. मतलब अगर आप हारे up down 12 पेटी gone. Wow.
12 पेटी.
Damn.
I have had a similar spot. Ace King versus eights. I remember the hand and I had Ace King and Srihari Bang had pocket eights. And वो hand मुझे आज तक वो flip याद है. बहुत दर्द हुआ वो flip हार के, मुझे बहुत दर्द हुआ. Similar amount of money.
Which game was this?
I think Millionaire Legends. Okay. I think it was for 20 something lakhs का flip था वो.
Wow, so this is an interesting hand. Prads has the top pair, bad kicker, and in a very passive pot, GK makes the 10 pair. So let's see what happens. What do you think
GK
of the
has a
size?
sort of mandatory call here, but knowing Pat's gameplay so far, I don't mind a fold. To be honest,
This is the first
theoretically
lead out
GK
of.
has a
Yeah, good
like you
fold,
see
great fold.
GK is on point. GK sort of understood Pratt कैसे खेल रहा है. So
I
now
see
I
GK is still
place my
being
money. I put my money on
plugged
the
hard
rising
by
horse.
Gunjan on
I
this.
love how GK is exploiting Pratt now. I
So,
think
Gunjan,
after
have
that
you?
8-eye showdown.
Yeah,
Sorry,
please
हाँ
continue.
क्या बोल रहे?
नहीं मैं बस
After
ये
that
सोच रहा
8-eye
था.
showdown.
हाँ, please.
Tell
After
me.
the नहीं छोड़ा. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, please. That hand.
अरे ये लखनवी तहजीब में निकल जाएगा
जो
ये फाइनल टेबल. Please, someone start talking.
Excitement is running high, Peter. That is what's
Welcome
happening.
back, Peter.
I've
Welcome
come back
Peter
at the
देखो
right
क्या
moment.
excitement है.
Well, GK and of course Prad's playing it down for this title. Pretty exciting considering that, well, we know GK is a really good player and Prad's has done a wonderful job holding on to that chip lead. And yeah, that hand, Sriharsha Paneni's hand. I'm sure we'll come back to that in the post-match discussion that we have. But yeah, that was an interesting hand as well. But we will have a new champion.
GK got super luck. Oh, that's a fun fact. Huh? These guys do not have a badge.
Yes,
Oh
they
yeah,
don't.
that would be nice. They're
It's
badge
going to be
versions.
interesting. And speaking of that gold badge of honor that the winner, the eventual winner of this final table will get, that is, of course, over and above the prize money that these players have got. Let's quickly go into all the payouts of the busted players at this final table. You've got Athena Bolt.
I have to stop you there, Peter, for a moment.
Yep.
I think we have a massive hand brewing up. 4-bet pot. GK 3 bets. Brad's 4 bets with an ace-9 offsuit and showing why he's here. Controlled aggression by Brad's. Really good timing.
I think I can see them folding this. The way
I think,
GK is playing.
I think by Brad's has shown such controlled aggression in that spots जहाँ Brad's aggression दिखाता है, वहाँ आपको उसको respect देनी पड़ेगी fold करने के लिए. I think GK it's not a fold theoretically, but my assumption is जो controlled game हुआ है अभी तक, उसमें GK fold कर देता. So that's an easy fold for GK now. GK sort of saved his.
I think that's the silver lining that there is no piece of the pie for GK post flop. That's a good thing. He could have lost much more.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm surprised. Okay.
That's very interesting 4-bet, but for a choice of ace-9 off for a 4-bet. Generally, जब आप 4-bet करते हो, so candidates which are there are like suited aces, weaker suited aces, some offsuit combos, but not as good as ace-9 off. So that you can very easily fold if you get a 5-bet jam.
Yeah.
Ace-9 off is a very interesting candidate, and he's played a very passive line where GK may just go for thin value here, like bet like 2 lakh, 2.53 lakhs over there.
And the interesting thing is, knowing GK, he would not have put Prads on a 4-bet with ace-9 offsuit, the way he's been playing so far, because he's been playing a very conservative range.
I totally agree with that. Peter, now all yours to announce your contest winners and all. I had to interrupt you with this massive hand. And with that, by the way, Prads has more than a 3x lead over GK. So GK time
hello, pocket aces.
Pockets.
Yep. Also known as Snake Eyes, also known as, well, there was a whole bunch of different names that we had in that particular contest question, but I'm guessing this hand won't go too far, considering Prads has pretty much garbage. Yes, Gaurav, the coffee was great, and along with the coffee, I've got another contest question. So that's a nice little segue for contest question number 2 at this IOPC Super High Roller. Which poker hand is called the dead man's hand? Yes, which poker hand is known as the very ominously named dead man's hand? There's a fantastic story behind this particular hand as well. If you know it, if you know the answer, make sure you answer you put in your right answer in the contest comments, and well, we'll just see how this hand plays out quickly before that. A set for GK, but perhaps no
GK
further
has a full
life.
house.
Full house.
Peter, GK has a full house. A very interesting thing happened on the flop. Prads led on the flop. with that 10-8 off on that A7 deuce board. It was a very interesting play, which we don't really see very frequently. So, it's
I think
very unfortunate for G.
that's the balls of a chip leader, I guess, with a substantial lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Testicular fortitude.
Testicular fortitude. Wow.
Yeah.
The vocabulary.
पीटर यार आप मतलब
देखिए सर हम तो सिर्फ वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं आप तो एक्चुअली हिट का कैन लेके आ गए सो क्लियरली यू आर विनिंग द बैटल ऑन दैट वन सो
I'm an action man.
Well, Prads will be very delighted to see that can in your side of the frame, but he's hit that pair of his with the jack on the turn.
Gunjan is accepting
also has a gut shot. GK has a gut shot over there. Pride should go for 2 streets of value यहाँ पे. Yeah.
He just overbet.
Yeah, it's a healthy bet in that one.
Yeah. Not a big fan of that overbet sizing over there after the flop check.
I think you, with that kind of a lead, you should try to juice in the little value bets, small bets, and bleed out the other guy. He's going to call when he's very strong to that overbet. Only then.
अभी आप देख रहे हो GK has started his limping strategy because GK अभी काफी short हो गया है 25-ish big blind. So now GK will become much more passive than what he was playing some time back. So like I said, like FT पे heads up में dynamics will keep shifting. तो आज अपन को पहली बार ये dynamic shift होने का मौका दिख रहा है. मुझे बड़ा मजा आ रहा है देख के. ऐसा मैंने पिछले बार कहा था कि 50, 100, 200 हैंड हो तो बड़ा मजा आएगा. तो I think we are in for that sort of a treat today. I think this is like some 20th or 30th hand already on heads up. So, है ना?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah. Enough. And I haven't seen it last so long, and it's real treasure. That too for the super high roller. Not any other tournament. The super high roller heads up game. It doesn't get any richer than this.
I think Gunjan, you had mentioned earlier in one of our previous streams that you've been a little disappointed when the top 2 players go on to make a deal because it's such a critical element of poker, that final 2, that last gasp effort that you need to make for the title, and it's almost sort of unfair that we don't get to see it come to fruition, but it's good to see this heads up battle last as long as it has.
I think we may see a jam by GK. That's what it is. We just have to call it off. And
good luck, Gunjan.
Double up for GK. Double up for GK. Come on, guys.
He's calling it. Oh, Brad makes the fold. Denied. Wow.
Well, there we go. Prads did not want
Gunjan
to
is
get
disappointed. He wanted that double up.
No, I don't mind a fold. Like if I am playing there, I don't mind a fold with the 5s. But the point is, ace is really good to call over there. It's surprising that Prads folded it.
Take that risk and take it down right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And with that raise, Prads makes it 2.52 in the middle. Let's quickly look at the payouts of the busted players. So far, in 6th position on the 6-max Super High Roller final table was the first elimination of Rajiv Kumar playing as Athena Volt. Then you had Rajat Sharma playing as No Prisoners, taking home 10.3 lakhs for his 5th place finish. And he was followed by Harshit Sanghi, who was the crown main event winner the last time. Harshit playing as Poker in Olympics. He took home 12.81 lakhs. And the last elimination before we got into this heads up was a pretty brutal hand for Sriharsha D, who was playing as Sigrigem. I hope I finally got that name right. And Sriharsha taking home 15.47 lakhs for his 2nd runner-up finish. And it's now down to the final 2.
As if Doda Panini wasn't complicated enough, that we have Sigrigem.
But I like the fact that our viewers who've tuned into this live stream, they've been very, very helpful, giving us explanations for usernames, for profile pictures. Occasionally, people like KP getting out of hand and making some slightly snide comments. But hey, that's all part of the fun that we have here. But yeah, it's an interesting hand developing.
Check. GK going passive, as expected.
I think Pads is going passive. That is something which is not expected.
You really
And,
wanted that A6 call, Gunjan. I could see it on your face, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So basically, the ace 3 वहाँ पे almost had 40% equity versus that 5.
no, decent equity. As per the stack difference
Yeah.
also, I can understand where you're
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah.
And your boy has
And-
the ladies.
And he's got bet into him.
Yeah.
नहीं अभी तो min raise है 3 bet करेगा. I think Prads will just fold. Prads is not getting out of line at all. Oh, it's a big jam.
That's the end of it.
I don't like this play at all. Oops. I do not like this play. So again 20 big blinds पे ना आपके पास दो स्ट्रेटेजी होती है खेलने की. एक होता है 3 bet smaller, एक होता है jam. तो जो jam होता है that 3 bet small comes from hands like the top hand is king, queens, jacks, tens plus some bluffs. And jams come from hands something like a ace queen, ace jack, but king jack, queen jack.
Combined with the pairs. Okay.
Combined
so the
with the
stronger
pairs,
hand you have, you should try and min raise it. I mean, re-raise
No,
it
not
and
with
not
this,
jam.
but the 3 bet call. So then what happens is that you have two strategies, which is a 3 bet call, 3 bet fold, and a jam and a call. That makes your game a little more complicated. And at this high roller final table, I think you cannot just play like okay jam या fold खेलूंगा मैं. Like if I am teaching somebody who plays like a mistakes वगैरह, right? उसको मैं बताऊंगा भूल जा तू ये सब, तू jam और fold खेल आराम से. But अब आप जब 1 लाख का बाइन खेल रहे हो सुपर हाई रोलर, तो आपको अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी थोड़ी इवॉल्व करनी पड़ती है.
Right.
So that's another some few cents poker knowledge which I have.
That's right. The Sunday tournament veteran just dispensing those little nuggets of wisdom there.
It's 2 cents which can actually earn you a lot of money.
Absolutely. Nice flop for both the players, but we'll see who gets away with it.
Brads has a straight draw with now. This is as good a time to bet as anything.
Wow.
Brads
There you
hits
go.
a straight.
4 high
Let's
flush.
see what-
4 high flush against a straight.
It's kind of surprising. GK went back. Oh, what is happening?
Check.
What is going on? What is going on?
They want to milk it, bro.
नहीं, they want to just play. कि ना ना तू ले जा नहीं मुझे नहीं चाहिए. They are like नहीं मुझे नहीं चाहिए.
It was this approach and attitude which actually surprised the ace-9 offsuit 4-bet from Brad's side. That he could go so passive, but go so aggressive on the 4-bet with an ace-9 off.
Correct.
Interesting.
I totally 100% agree.
The polarity is interesting.
Yeah. भाई बता रहा हूँ, Brad says showing a very controlled aggression. Peter आप शायद थे नहीं उस टाइम पे. अभी आप देख रहे होगे Brads ने straight को value check because 4 flush का board था. But अपन heads up खेल रहे हैं. It was a very good hand to sort of value bet, especially after GK checked 3 times.
Right.
So Pads is playing relatively passive and trying to just make sure that he holds on to his chip lead and bleed out GK. But
And it's
Pads
working
went
well
for a
so
4
far.
bet with an ace-9 off. Yeah.
नहीं यहाँ पे
So,
जैसे आप देखो typical example of Brad's play, he does not overplay the top pair. He lets the other person lead. He will just check call and go tranquilo post flop. So yeah, very controlled aggression. And now he bets out.
The snap fold by GK. Snap fold.
Well, we're getting lots of answers in the chat comments on our second contest question. And if you haven't entered yet, make sure you do so as soon as possible. Which poker hand is called the dead man's hand? Yes, it's a very ominous sounding question, but that's our second contest question for the day. Make sure you get the right answer in there with your Spartan Poker ID, and you can win a ticket into tomorrow's 3 p.m. tournament. That's a 5.75 lakh guaranteed IOPC event number 127.
Okay, your boy has a part of the board.
I do not think this hand will have any action.
I wish we could. Okay, yeah. Gunjan, I wish we could like just put an emoticon of yours on the right seat of GK, like just sitting
like
there.
This.
You might as well be like, bhai.
Read like a GIF emoticon.
Oh, beautiful!
Wow.
Oh my God, बहुत ही शानदार. GK all in.
Wow.
Jam कर.
Wow.
I think GK will value bet and Brad will call it.
Let's see
I'm
if
surprised to see a
Brad
Brad's
has the
call
race
from a
lead.
queen 3 on
I
that
know.
turn. It's very rare of him to do that sort of a thing. And especially the matlab of all the hands you could have over there, queen 3 does not connect at all. May just be beat. So kind of surprised at this. If it was anybody else, I would have said you could have tried for a thin value bet raise on heads up, but I don't think so. Like versus a GK and Prads, both are like.
Yeah, I saw that call coming in. Because when you're floating, sorry, when you're like check calling all the way and you get rewarded with the top pair card and heads up, you're like, I'm gonna bite this.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice little chip
But
up
it'll
there
be a
for
tough
GK.
spot for GK. Yeah. He's going to jam very likely.
There you
go. And snap fold. Snap fold. But again, कुछ जो hands tough spot होते हैं दूसरे के साथ heads up खेलने में versus the Prads, it's for GK sort of adjusted. It'll be very interesting if Prads readjusts back and just ups his aggression massively. This is a good strategy, by the way, guys.
That is
पहले आप पैसिव खेलो और बाद में आप एकदम अग्रेसिव हो जाओ, या उसका रिवर्स, पहले आप बहुत अग्रेसिव खेलो और बाद में सिर्फ नट्स दिखाओ. तो जैसे कि हमारे कुणाल भाई का नाम है, मतलब नट्स टुडे ब्लफ टुमारो. तो that's a good strategy heads up कि आप अभी जो कर रहे हो, just flip your strategy in like half an hour and confuse the hell out of your opponent कि ये क्या था.
He should not catch you in the flip over, right? And as soon as you switch.
Yeah,
by the way,
some really bad timing.
I've seen this in streaming. While you're streaming, I literally was heads up with a guy, and post the break, he just changed his strategy because he's possibly watching the stream. So that is the downside of live streaming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, live stream में बड़ी मेहनत होती है. Like I get comments, ये देखो, मस्त एकदम no value with queen high, huh?
Nope.
Yeah. I am sitting here watching queen high. यार ये तो value bet था यार, queen high good value bet.
I think after this final table, Gunjan's going to change his ID from GM testing to क्या यार.
No, so GK is going to hear a mouthful from me. Yeah, obviously good that you reached there, but yeah, except third खेलते ऐसे. So, but GK has been playing really well, by the way. His reads are on point. So, Brad, I don't know you. So nobody knows you, so nobody can vote for you.
I understand, but they're actually going in for the patient game, right? They're grinding it out. I mean, no one's going too out of line. I mean, it's been a while since we saw that 4-bet hand, and now they're like testing the edges. GK is also trying to grind like edge up. So it's interesting play. They're not going for fireworks as of now.
I think both players in heads up have realized, यार ये commentator लोग को कुछ देना चाहिए time. So let's play some more hands, and that's what we're seeing, a little bit of an extended heads up on this final table. But it's all in good fun. We get to see this.
I should have got more props for heads up.
Also our viewers like more time to like submit the answers to the question and win that IOPC ticket.
Yeah, I can see a lot of answers.
Hand, Peter, tell us the story of the dead man's hand.
Well, maybe once the tournament is done and once we've released the winners' names, it becomes a little too easy then. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. Google Baba Zindabad. So look it up if you don't know the story.
See? Free ka
Google
paisa
Baba ke baad bhi jab Earth answer aata hai na, so
there we go. And remember, folks, these decisions, as easy as it might seem from hand to hand, or tough for that matter, are not that easy because players are playing for a cumulative 58 lakh rupees. That's the final two prizes worth in this heads up. 35.22 lakhs for the winner and 23.8 lakhs for the second place finisher. It is not a small amount by any stretch of imagination. So you can imagine why there's a lot of thought going into every single hand these guys play. And yeah, there are only decisions and consequences, as one of our commenters in the chat mentioned. So get a tattoo, man. Chota wala hi sahi.
Yeah, true. So, Peter, why I laugh was we just got a very interesting comment. Are commentators paid hourly by the rate of the gameplay which is being extended?
Well, I
that's a
wish
good
that was the
point.
case.
मैं अगली बार बोलता हूँ Peter अगली बार से.
That's right. We get the clocks and the stopwatches going. But no, Prabhudas, that is not the case. We just enjoy having fun, and we're just happy to see an extended heads up. To be honest, because
yes.
it's a very often overlooked part of poker tournaments that people end up quickly rushing towards a deal. But here we get to see two really good players battle it out for that title, for that IOPC gold badge. And of course, this will jump them up on that leaderboard points as well. 1 crore in prize money there as well. So lots to play for sure. And I think every decision is very measured here. I like the way both players have been. Perhaps GK going a little, shall we say, getting cute in a couple of spots. But other than that, I don't see any major missteps that have happened by either player.
You are right, Peter. I think GK का read is on point that basically GK is assuming, मेरे हिसाब से, that Prads is not bluffing at all. And we have not seen many bluffs from Prads, which essentially means GK has to pretty much wait and not really stack off money like this. The counter strategy is that GK is not bluffing enough. That's something which I am not very happy about, because once you know कि opponent नहीं push कर रहा है आपको, तो आप उसको बहुत push कर सकते हो. It's like आप boxing ring में हो, opponent आपको punch नहीं कर रहा है और खड़ा है, आप punch तो मारो कम से कम उसको. It is likely that you may just hit a wall, but it is also likely that the opponent falls down and you win. So I want GK to win, as you guys must have known.
Yeah.
Really?
Seriously? What? This is news to me.
This is news to us towards the almost 2 hours that this broadcast is going on for.
Yeah. So
hitting his pair there on that flop.
Wow.
Ouch.
I think it's the end of GK.
Or as Gunjan would say, nuts versus second nuts. On a heads up ball.
Can we have a king on the river, please? Come on.
One time? Are you calling it one time?
4 bhi chalega actually. Actually, 4 is better. If there's a 4 on the river, it's
4 will be that little inducing sort of a thing.
Let's see if GK is seduced by that
GK
bet.
actually dump this hand. As good as the hand is.
Wow.
Oh boy.
8
and a
of
full
spades,
house.
In the 4th. Yeah. Now GK will definitely get like not call. He's just going to fold.
For your sake, Gunjan, I hope you're right.
No. If GK calls this, oh man, that'll be a sick one.
It would be.
Highly doubt.
We should actually give you a hair or
Basically,
something to dance on
I'll tell you
this.
There is a reason also why it's very bad to call this hand. Number one, you will have some ace x to call over there. अगर आप सोचो कि आपके पास क्या क्या हो सकता है, तो आप इक्का कॉल करोगे, आपके पास कुछ यहाँ फ्लशेस बन जाएंगे रिवर पे आके, so you will have some flushes to call, and then you will have some trips to call, obviously, because you make an 8, right? So you call with trips, you call with ace x, you call with flushes. King without a spade is like really low in terms of क्या call करोगे आप. So that's how you think about. आप जब पोकर खेल रहे होते हो तो ये नहीं सोचते कि मेरे हाथ में क्या है, सोचो मेरे हाथ में क्या क्या हो सकता है. अब जो हो सकता है उसमें से मुझे क्या कॉल करना है, क्या फोल्ड करना है, वैसे आप स्प्लिट करोगे उस कॉल और फोल्ड. That's how you think in a poker hand. Not कि मेरे हाथ में तो किंग है, पेयर है, मैं कॉल करूंगा.
Range versus range.
Yeah.
And Prads has opened up a healthy lead here.
Sorry, Gunjan. You went over. I was like, yeah, range versus range. Okay.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Your boy is in it, and he gets the blind.
He is in trouble. GK is in big time trouble right now. 9 lakh versus 56 lakh chips.
It would make for a good comeback story if GK gets it.
Yeah.
All diamonds.
Flush draw and a gut shot. So
and there we go.
Yeah. There you go. You make it.
Oh boy.
This is one of those
Yeah,
chal dal ke dekhte hai type bets.
Huh.
You're right.
Well said, Peter.
Yeah, that's the technical term, folks.
देखते क्या होता है तो है कोई बात नहीं ना. Information मिल गई है हमें अच्छे से. Now
And
GK
that's
just
straight as well coming through.
he's just
but-
going to check it back. He's going to
Yeah,
check
he's-
it back.
From what we've seen, this is going to be a check back.
Hmm.
Yep.
Thin river,
Actually,
but I say
it's not a bad strategy by Brads. Now that you have such a massive lead, आप ना बिल्कुल ऐसे effectively chip lock करके बैठ गया है Brads. बोला मैं तुझे जीतने नहीं दूंगा. तू जो करना है कर ले.
He's not giving him easy money. That is very true.
Not giving. Yeah. No, not bluffing enough. Not saying कि भाई, I am like the wall right now.
Yeah.
You try to punch through. It's your job to punch through the wall. It's not my
Yeah.
job to sort of give you anything for free.
Yeah,
So-
a bit of an all-in
And now
punch
GK
there.
GK has to do this sort of things. Like now that he's so short,
Yeah, I was just coming to that. The blinds are catching up, and hence the wall attack is actually very sound. He
Yeah.
can just blast him out.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a good strategy by the way in poker. कि यार आपको जब लाइंस बढ़ रही है, आपके पास इतने चिप्स हैं, आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना. जब हैंड लगेगा तब आएंगे, आपको नहीं खेलना. ले ले, तू ब्लाइंड कितना ले लेगा? ब्लाइंड बढ़ जाएंगे. I have all the chips.
Like we
You
were
cannot
saying,
do-
like we were saying, कुछ भी ना करना, कब करने के पैसे मिलते हैं.
Yeah. 100%.
Well,
Peter,
don't
I
think
think
there's
it's the
any more
longest
action
stream we
here.
have had so far.
Wow.
Peter, nice.
Sorry?
This is the longest we have streamed so far.
Yes, I believe it's certainly the longest heads up that we've streamed thus far, and it's pretty close to being one of the longest live stream broadcasts that we've done over the course of the live streams in this series for sure. I think perhaps in the last IOPC we had a slightly longer final table. Well, it's not over yet. This could go on to break the record there. It's coming around to about 2 hours, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
GK in with Jack. Wow, see, you were saying, I think he heard you, that he's not bluffing enough. There you go. There you go. And with, I think, around 10 big blinds, he's got to push the edges now.
He has to do that.
Yeah.
Deuces is just gonna jam and he has to fold this. Yeah. GK will just fold the jacket off. See, now the blinds are eating into GK's stack massively. Like
Yeah.
every time he has to pay 40,000 का small blind, 80,000 का big blind, and for that 7 lakh का आपका stack है तब मतलब हर hand में आप effectively लाख सवा लाख chips डाल दे रहे हो. If
That's-
Pratt limps, it will be GG for GK because GK will jam this if Pratt limps. Yeah, now he's got to fold.
He's just looking for good
But-
hands which he can call the jams now.
Yeah. Now you see GK is down to 6 lakh. Every orbit, like every
There you
two
go.
hands, GK is down by a lakh.
Deuce 5.
Or only 1.5 lakhs types.
This he might just get through, just getting the blinds in.
Yeah, it's just
There
way
you
too
go.
much pressure at this point in time because of the gap that's between the two chip stacks. I think GK has just no choice now. It's virtually a push and fold now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Prads knows
Also-
it. He's got
Also, we have not seen any tough spot wala hand so far. It's always been like easy push, easy fold, easy
Yeah.
push, easy fold, right?
That-
Like this hand, if GK jams, it is likely that Pratt will call, and GK should jam this. By the way, he will just jam this. Yeah, Pratt may just call it off with the king high.
Suited
Yeah,
connectors, king high.
Less than 7 big blinds. I think it's a
Very
I'm
small part
shocked-
of his flop. Yeah.
I am shocked that Pratt is thinking so much. Okay, and
GG.
very well played, GK. And Pratt,
Well.
obviously, very well done. You just like beat the wall on the final table and took my
Well
money
played,
also
Pratt.
along with GK.
I was waiting for that comment. Well, we're down now. Finally, the end of this live stream, just short of that record that I was mentioning earlier of the longest streams. But this was a nice, long, healthy heads-up tournament. And the chip leader, finally, guys, we've been talking about the fact that in all of these big tournaments, the chip leader who begins the final table almost never has made it to in fact, in some cases, not even the top three. But now for 3 marquee tournaments back to back, we've seen the chip leader at the start of the final table go on and win the title of that particular final table. So congratulations to our winner, Prads, who has taken home 35 lakhs, 22,400 rupees for his win. That's a fantastic prize money for the 1 lakh buy-in that this tournament has. And of course, in second place, very well played by GK, that's Guneet Kwatra, who took home 23.8 lakhs for his win. Fantastic display, gentlemen. Let's quickly go into a couple of these hands that we thought were really exciting earlier on. And in fact, it's the one hand which I thought which happened virtually in, I think, the first few of this final table and really set the turning point as far as Prads is concerned. So let's take a look at this particular hand where Prads had queens and Athena Volt. Rajiv Kumar, who we've been backing and having a sentimental favoritism on because he's the oldest player at this final table, 64 years old, is Rajiv Kumar, giving the young guns a run for their money. And he had pocket sevens in this particular hand and not surprisingly decides to bump it up. Gentlemen, I think the play went on pretty much the way in this hand that you sort of expected it to go, because obviously Prads with the big blind, just waiting for someone, koi kuch karo, or Athena Volt ne kar diya.
Everything went Prads' way today. This was a setup, like this just set up Prads for victory. Like 1 versus 2 ka massive fight, and whoever wins this hand really sets himself up to become the top 2 in the final.
I remember when we were doing this hand, again, because GK has a special place in Gunjan's heart today, especially, we were wondering why he tanked for so long, thinking that he's probably going to do something funny, but I think probably internet issues taking their toll on GK's connection, and he took that long to actually come to a decision and finally fold. But yes, we'll wait for that to clock to run out before we see Athena Volt.
We get to talk more about it.
And yes, that's what happens. GK is out of there. And with his pocket sevens, Rajiv Kumar playing as Athena Volt bumps it up to 1.8.
Now that I think about it even further, I think Rajiv has a generally easier fold than what I was thinking. Because the reason is Sriharsha is opening off 20 BB ka stack into some shorter stacks around there also, especially with Rajat being shorter. Yep. Sriharsha tight open कर रहा है, अभी Athena tight 3-bet कर रहा है, 4-bet also becomes comparatively tighter, right? Or pocket sevens is not the kind of top of your 3-bet, right? Pocket sevens is a middling hand, चलो 3-bet करके देखते हैं, right? So it's not like कि ये तो kings है या ace king है, ace queen है कि चलो call करना पड़ेगा, suited ace queen, suited tens, jacks भी चलो कर सकते हैं, right? Sevens come lower in the picking order. If you have to pick hands to call 4-bet, I think this is a big misstep by Athena Volt over here in my opinion. So, and that sort of gave away the chip.
Maybe a tiny red flag should have gone up in there. But again, folks, we sitting here in the commentary booth and you at home who get to see these cards face up, we are at such a huge advantage. And there's no really saying what's going on in players' minds when they see these cards in their hand and on the table. So in all things considered, the way this hand is played out is more or less, well, I won't say standard, but sort of expected by the end of it, the way it went down. I think, Raj, after the flop opened up, I don't think there was, Athena probably felt like his sevens were even better as each street opened up.
So, yeah, I agree, because what happens is a lot of the range is going to just bet the 33% mark, right? As especially when you're 4-betting and you're trying to represent that. He doesn't size it up more than 33%. I kind of like that. But eventually, look at the turn. The SPR is just, there's more money in the pot than is in Athena's stack. And he has a gut shot. And as we can see, the stack difference as well, what Gunjan was also saying earlier, forget the queens that he has. He has a lot of incentive to push him around as well. But I believe Athena should have put some more context that with that kind of a range where he's 4-betting, there are a lot more pocket pairs better than him that are beating him for a lot of value. And imagine if he just folds here, right? He still has some pushing value in the game.
Yep.
Zoom out of the game. If he just gives this away, the other person's showing strength, he can actually stay, wait for a bust out, move up, or get a better spot to double in. So I think even on the turn, a tight fold could have been acquired.
I just wanted to add one tiny thing. Imagine this was a bluff and he calls down. And we would have seen Athena Volt as a winner with 35 lakh rupees. So,
absolutely.
Different समझ रहे हो? तो
Nothing
ऐसा
of
नहीं
glory,
है कि
all or nothing, glory or death.
इतना आसान भी नहीं है कि ना ऐसे बस चलो टाइट फोल्ड कर दो ना
For sure.
पता चलता गुंजन कैसे सोचता है तो मिलेंगे कभी.
Well, it has certainly made a whole bunch of meme videos where, you know, the hero versus villain situation would have happened in that had it gone that way. But yeah, that's pretty much how that tournament went down. Congratulations once again to Prads for taking down this IOPC Super High Roller event for 35.22 lakhs. And of course, that gold badge of honor that also accompanies the win. Not to mention points on the IOPC leaderboard, 1 crore that these players are playing for. And let's not forget, this is not the end of the live streams. We still have a couple more to go, including the Masters Table, which is going to take place next week, which will bring an end to this fantastic IOPC series that's happened. So it's time for us to say goodbye on behalf of my co-commentators, Gunjan Mal and Raj Juneja. It's me, Peter Abraham, saying thank you for joining us on this live stream. And we'll see you on Monday evening for the next one. Till then, it's goodbye from all of us.